forget to like, share, and subscribe. If y'all don't pick my sign up. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Psychology Eats. So what's eating you? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope this video finds you in great mental health. I hope everything's going well for you, and life is lifing. Woo! Y'all, welcome to the summer. I feel like it's summer because I'm off now for the summer. And I'm just trying to get into my summer routine. But anywho, so after the last video, after I spoke to production's attorney, and pretty much, you know, you gotta let you guys hear that a little bit apart when he said that we rescinded or revoked the bond hearing, basically canceled it, because I'm sure they thought, like, why even bother? Because the attorney had told me before, like, Georgia judges do not give bond for people accused of murder. And so, you know, so pretty much that was going to happen. They weren't going to give him bond and all of that. And so then I started thinking about, you know, production and what, you know, when you're in prison, and I ain't never been in prison, but I've worked with a lot of, you know, as a clinician, and I worked in juvie for many years, working with kids who were, you know, sentenced for various reasons. And, you know, oftentimes your hope, the hope that a prisoner has is upon, you know, they're hoping that they get a bond. They're hoping that they get released. So you have this hope, and then when your you know, whatever you're hoping for is declined, it's that sense of letdown, depression, you know, all of that. You're already dealing with whatever you're dealing with and how you ended up, you know, behind bars in the first place. And don't get me wrong, there are many people who are incarcerated, and that's where they need to be, because they're a danger to society. We know that. Hold on. Oh my God, I was choking. So anyway, so after, you know, I spoke to the attorney and I did that last video, I had not responded back to, and it was a couple of days, and I didn't respond back to production. Remember, I told you that he did respond to my initial email to him, and then I didn't respond back for a couple of days, and then I decided to respond back to him because at that point, you know, I don't know, you know, he would have known that there was not going to be any bail set. So, you know, he's been sitting there for over a month, probably hoping, you know, and telling his side of things to whoever probably will listen, and then to hear that there's no bond. And now, like his attorney informed me, he was just educating me on what the process was, you know, which is not a violation of client attorney privilege. He's just basically, I'm asking him about whatever the process is in Georgia, and he educated me on the process. And so knowing, you know, and now I'm like, okay, so production probably knows at this point he's going to be sitting there for at least 60 days before it goes to the grand jury. Once the grand jury picks the case up, and then they send, you know, the whole process that I already told you about, then, you know, he's probably looking at a year. And so I wanted to reach back out to him after I processed all of that. And then I wanted to respond to him, you know, in an email. So that's what I'm showing you now, you know, what I responded back to him. I think one thing that he was not concerned about, I'll just use the word concerned. I don't even want to say that concerned, because he has so many other things to be concerned about, not worried about social media, obviously. But for him, imagine, him thinking like, damn, what is social media thinking about all of this? What are our fans thinking about all of this? What are, the people who loved us thinking about? He's in prison. Lips is passed on. How has this left the community that Lips and production built? How's that left them? And I just really wanted to reassure him that for the most part, now y'all comment down below if you don't agree with this, but at least in my comment section, and I really haven't been on other people's videos to find out what's happening in their comment section, but in my comment section, and from what I could see initially when everything happened, that people still care about production. Like, people are concerned about him. Of course, you have those people who say F fuck, all of that kind of stuff. Of course, we've seen videos done like that. But that's what I said to him. It's like, to me, from what I could see, it really hasn't been like that. Like, more people are sad than mad about the situation. It's like when someone is grieving, and I think as a community, we're all grieving the loss of them. They weren't our, personal friends or our family or anything like that. But grief is grief. And I think we could go through like stages of grief, like, I can't believe this, and then anger and all of that. But what my point to him was that it's a sadness, more than a madness or people angry at him. I think people the subscribers, the fans, still trying to gain an understanding of how did it get to this? Like, how did it get to this? Or why did it get to this? And so, that's pretty much what I said in the correspondence that I'm showing you now. Just being transparent with him, that I am doing content, that I am doing content about the situation, respectfully, trying to respect Lips legacy and respected him as his partner, and then this horrible incident that happened. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, as far as my last time, which is a few days ago, that I reached out to him. And so, I'll see if he replies back. Right now, I'm sure he's pretty devastated that he didn't even get his day in front of a judge to even try to get a bond or say, whatever he plans to say. But we shall see, as we move forward with the process. The way it looks now, it's like nothing is really going to happen again, court-wise, for another 30 to 60 days. Once the grand jury meets, make a decision, unlocks that document, and then, we'll pretty much see where it goes from there. But that's probably it. That is it as far as court is concerned. It says June, July. We probably won't know anything movement-wise until August. And then to go to court, if he decides to go to court, if they don't offer him a plea, which they'll probably offer a plea, and we'll see, what that all looks like as we just follow the case. And like I said, if he reaches back out to me, fine. I did ask him about how would he feel about people reaching out. I don't know if, it's open. Anybody can reach out to him. The same way I found all the information, anybody can find the information. So if that's in your heart to do, then do it. If not, he definitely doesn't need any negativity, emails or anything like that. I mean, this is the worst thing that can happen to anybody. I don't know what anybody would need to say or think they can say to make shit feel worse than what has already happened. But that's it. That's another update. And I will come back and update you again if anything happens. Bye, guys.
Guess what? I got a sale with me. And hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. And hit that one bell.
Subscribe. Say subscribe to Psychology Eats.
Subscribe to Cowboy Eats.
Not Cowboy.